Yes.
Hello, it's me,
Hello.
Liam.
Yes. Hi.
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Rose?
Oh, fuck. So everybody
you can hear me?
refresh the fucking...
You like this? Do you want me to just continue to put my mustache on the mic? Is that doing it for you?
All right.
Yes.
Liam,
It's
are you
on the
there?
microphone.
Can you hear us, Liam?
Feel like I'm at a mega church preaching, just looking at notes on my phone.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's
That's
just
how you do it. Yeah.
Put the mustache on the microphone.
Big Mario mustache. Praise
Put
the
the
Lord.
opening in your mouth.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Okay. Welcome to a special episode of Well, There's Your Problem, a podcast about engineering disasters with slides. Except today we don't have slides because we're doing a special episode.
It's a very special Christmas episode. That festival that 2/3 of our podcast do not celebrate.
Yes. I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the Jesus Christ. Our Lord and Savior who was born on Christmas Day.
Wrong. All wrong.
So, I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
If you're already listening to our 50th exceptional, very special, holly jolly Christmas episode, you know who we are. My name is Alice Caldwell Kelly. My pronouns are she and her.
I don't have a mic stand, so I'm recording this from an undisclosed location. And I'm doing this like a mega church pastor. I'm holding a very heavy microphone. I'm just looking down a lot. And my name is Liam Anderson. My pronouns
Liam, can you
are
answer
he,
some
him.
questions about why you used your charity money to buy a Learjet?
No, I can't answer that question. All things are possible through Christ who shot that down. I will not be. God is good. The God I don't believe in is good.
Well, there's your problem. Really does need a Gulf Stream. We could do so much more efficient podcasts if we had a Gulf Stream. Give us money to buy a Gulf Stream.
Maybe a private railroad car.
Then we can be our own episode of our own podcast when inevitably one of us gets drunk and opens up an air hole, and that's it for this dumb podcast.
We would actually need 2 private rail cars because we'd need one that fits on United States trains and one that fits on British trains.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I have standard gauges when you could be an asshole instead.
That's right.
So today what we're doing is we're going to cultivate some parasocial relationships by answering your questions which you submitted through curiouscat.me, the social media network where teenagers and young adults go to have anonymous abuse hurled at them by their peers so they can find excuses to self-harm.
And now it's our turn.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And we're canceled. We made it to 50 and we're canceled.
Yep.
I'm
You
literally
know full well that is the only thing this platform is used for except for this episode.
I know. I know, bud. Trust me. So I never got a curious cat. If people want the questions they have answered so fucking badly, slide in my DMs and Venmo me $5 for the inconvenience. Liam Anderson 23. Let's go, kids.
Yeah, you got like a $5 unblocking fee.
That's right. I'm a one-man something awful operation.
All right. So how do we do this? Do we want to just go round robin, like pick a question?
Oh, I figured you would like MC this and you would like throw questions out.
Dude, I'm just standing up in a room trying to record this podcast. I'm not looking down at my laptop.
We need you to be showrunner for this.
Okay.
Like you normally do.
Yeah. We need you to be the responsible person here.
Jesus, I need to start looking through these now.
Strapping on the person in charge of podcast armband.
Maybe we don't go with an armband, Alice.
Somebody asked me, "Hey, how come you don't you like railway shit and you're a giant nerd? How come you don't collect those British rail safety armbands?" And it's like, well, because in the 1930s, a political movement ruined armbands for everybody.
It's true.
Yeah, and so like along with that little moustache, it's just one of those fashion decisions you just can't make anymore.
I will say, my parents, when they were students protesting the Vietnam War, that's how old my parents are. They had black armbands because they couldn't say "fuck the war" in school, so they did wear black armbands. I don't know if that's reappropriation or what, but I will say my parents are Jewish. Leave me alone.
Well, I feel like you can get away with a black armband, but like
Not a red
anything
one.
else, not a red one. It's funny as the Soviet Union had a bunch of those, like the Soviet Union and East Germany, because you see them on like eBay and stuff. If you're looking at like trying to get a cool Soviet jacket because it's minus 50 degrees where you live, the
You live in
sellers will be like,
Glasgow.
yeah, exactly. And the sellers will be like, hey, do you want like a bunch of these red Soviet armbands that we've got?
No.
It's like, no, thank you. I don't know. I guess like if you've done the whole Great Patriotic War thing and you've like lost millions and millions of people fighting the Nazis, you're allowed to like have a red armband that just says communism to you. But like if you're walking around with it now here,
I have a question that's going to stir up controversy.
Okay.
Is the metric system superior?
Yes.
No.
Moving on.
Well, yeah, that did not start very much controversy.
All right. Well, I guess we respect your opinion.
Yeah, the real shit that we've got to do for
Don't you live in a
sake.
country that's not even really imperial, though? You live in some bizarre
and
universe.
And all of the reasons why it sucks.
What the hell is a stone?
All of the reasons why it sucks are because they won't use the metric system for stuff. But what I was going to say is the real shit, for efficiency's sake, that we should be doing is adopting the ultimate metric system, the French Revolutionary Calendar.
Yes. 10 hours. 10
hours. 10 hours of every day. 10 days in every week. Fuck you. And each day has a thing that it represents. So I'm going to find out here. I'm going to go to one of my favorite Twitter accounts, the French Revolutionary Calendar.
Bunch of dorks.
Yeah, cool dorks. And, fuck, is it gone? Where the fuck is my French Revolutionary Calendar account?
Next question, please.
Yeah, go on.
I'm looking for a good one. I reached the bottom. Okay. One of them just says, "I'm taking a shit."
Hey, I did earlier. I did earlier. I felt solidarity with that guy.
Yeah.
Believe me, yeah, all the time.
Who is the most capable of beating their dad in a fight?
Me, not close.
Yeah,
Actually,
my dad's kind of a badass, which like, yeah.
I could
Yeah,
I could beat my dad and
weights.
your dad. I could beat your dad in a fight. I could absolutely kick your dad's ass.
Here
in
it
a
is. Today is the Carte de the Fourth Nivos in the year of the Republic CCXXIX, celebrating the element of sulfur.
All right, it's Sulfur Day.
Sulfur Day. Yesterday was bitumen.
Oh wow! What did you just call me?
And before that was coal, and before that was peat. So yeah, oh yeah,
banging calendar. I will say
I always thought the aluminum industry should declare a day in like late December or early January as Bauxite Day.
I like that.
Yeah,
I will say, getting back to the beating up our dad's question. I will say, Mrs. Rosniak, Mr. Rosniak, if you're listening, Dan, all due respect in the world, you've been nothing but kind and gracious to me, and I would whoop your ass, son.
Respectfully but effortlessly suplexing Justin's dad through a glass table.
My dad is, all due respect, because my parents also listen to this podcast. Dad, I love you very much. You've been a great role model and leader and all sorts of other influences. And I'm very grateful for you. And I would absolutely whoop your ass too, boy. So
I
always
don't.
had the idea.
I could not whip my dad's ass in the slightest. The dude runs ultra marathons and shit.
Oh,
And like
no.
the other thing is like he gets bored. So like every time I talk to him, or like I'll send him an email every few months to be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Just checking in, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I've got this new thing, and also I'm insanely good at it. I'm like skiing now." And it's like, you
Thanks,
don't have to
dude.
flex on me that hard, sir. You know damn well that I record podcasts. This is my job.
I will say, historically, I always liked the idea of could my dad kick your dad's ass? Like in a hypothetical, like best case scenario, both dads are in like the best physical shape they've been in.
Yeah.
So like I always
the
wanted
way
to do
this
dad
tournament
fights.
pairing is working is it's going to shape up to be the final fight here is Liam versus my dad, and I don't know who I'm betting on there.
Bet on Liam, baby.
Always bet on Liam.
Irish machine
Yes.
never break. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I also had the idea for there's your problem boxing between me and Roz, but he wouldn't do it.
I was not going to do that. No, I because I would lose.
Yeah, but you know it could be
Yes.
fun.
What? It would be fun for you, sure.
That rounds up
The
to two people.
the podcast just gets better and better as you rack up the TBIs.
All right, here's one. What is the most dangerous thing any of you have had to do on a job?
Pass.
What, while working? No, I mean, like podcasting is just not that dangerous of a job. All of the stuff that I've done before for work has not been that dangerous either. I don't know. I had an office chair that was kind of rickety once. I could have fallen off that. I could have ironically, this was at the St. Andrews first aid volunteering. But like, yeah, no, I could have rolled off that and injured myself, I guess.
I had to use SQL real good once. It was very scary.
For me, it was like lots of stuff going around like on the roofs, really
Chestnut
tall
Square,
buildings. Yeah, Chestnut Square. That was not good. I was kind of sort of edging on this, you know. It wasn't a ledge. It was probably like
why were you doing that?
I was walking along this area where, you know, on the one side there was a wall, and then there's about 10 feet of roof, and then the other side was like a sheer 200-foot drop.
Cool.
Just to go plot out locations where we could at some point drop a guy over the side for a visual inspection. You know, so that was like, I look back at that and I was like, I wasn't tied off to anything. That was pretty stupid. I
guess if you broaden it to include not just work, when I was at school, I did get a boat capsize on me once. That was cool.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, we had a day where somebody decided they were going to teach us to sail for some fucking reason. So we went to like a flooded quarry reservoir and we got sailboats. And the fucking thing tipped over on me. I got stuck underneath, like under the hull. And because I was wearing the life jacket, I couldn't like really easily swim out and under. And they had to like fish me out, and then I got to spend the rest of the day riding around in the fast inflatable boat. So that was cool.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's
I fucking love the
sailing
boat. Yeah, sailboats never again. No. The thing is, if you like capsize it and you get it onto its side, what you don't want to do is let your dumbest friend try and hold onto the mast, because they will flip it on top of you.
I was involved in actually a number of capsizes in my rowing career.
That does not shock me.
You know, that was on like the Anacostia River. It was like 5 feet deep. Like once you fell in, you could like just stand up.
I passed your boathouse the other day, and I just felt so sad. I was like, all his memories are buried in this bridge.
Yeah, 11th Street Bridge in Washington D.C. The abutment was where the boathouse was, and they tore it down. What is your favorite piece of safety equipment?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's the classic hard hat. But did you know that they make cowboy shaped, like Stetson shaped hard hats?
Do
Oh
they
my
really?
God.
Can you still hear
They
me?
really do. They are
want
safety rated.
Can you still
get them.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Shut up.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
no, you can seriously get like a white Stetson safety hat that like complies with all relevant regulations, still made of like the fiberglass or whatever. And it, like if you're in Europe, it kind of like if a guy has that on a site, it kind of signifies that they've worked in the US, which is a tremendously funny like thing to me. It's like, yeah, I'm a
that's
cowboy
a
now.
cultural signifier.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so I've heard, although obviously I've never been to one, that overseas people have America themed parties. And I just want to say, once this is over, you know what to do. Invite us to your America party. I'll bring you tobacco products you can't get in your dumb countries that have never been to the moon. Favorite piece of safety equipment, by the way. You know those sporting little like neon yellow hoodies? I always liked
Oh,
those.
yeah, those are nice.
The
Yeah.
high-vis hoodies, yeah, that are just 95%
high-vis hoodies.
covered with like shit and mud.
Yeah.
It's
It's true.
you see
They all
those
look like
for-
that after like a day.
Yeah, you see those for cyclists here too. Like it's a weird overlap between construction workers and like road cyclists is wearing high-vis stuff, but like because you're cycling like an inch away from like articulated lorries throwing up gravel and shit, they just instantly accumulate like an inch thick layer of grime. It's cool. I love to get to work and be healthy, having like sucked up exhaust fumes and stuff on my commute, and then being absolutely covered in shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done that. I think my favorite piece of safety equipment is lockout tagout. Prevents people from
That's
getting
a good
turned
one.
into ground beef.
I saw a really
Usually.
good one of those,
Usually.
which was what I saw a lockout tagout key that had on the tag, if energized, this device will blank, and somebody had filled that in with explode, killing everyone in 60-foot radius.
Hmm. That is definitely something you don't want to fuck with.
No. I like Roz as show leader, where it sounds like he's just responding like 30 seconds late to everything.
Oh yeah, because I'm also scrolling through questions while people are talking, and my brain refuses to. I'm actually focusing on neither thing while I'm doing that.
Attaboy.
All right, let's figure this out here. What is the least shit European country?
Oh, that's difficult.
I've never had a bad time in Sweden. I know they're racist. I know they're racist and terrible to indigenous people. It's, but I've never had a bad time there. I've had some really bad times in Belgium. I don't like the Dutch. I don't like the Danes. I don't care much for the Germans.
If we're just going for nice times, the nicest times that I've had and some of the fondest memories I've had are in an extremely racist country, Switzerland.
Yeah. Switzerland.
I had a ball.
Switzerland's pretty good.
I had a ball in Austria, and I know they were just waiting for me to like go to the synagogue so they could beat me to death with a lead pipe.
Yeah, you're like in the room at night, locking all your doors so they don't come for your teeth, and you're just like, no, fuck you. I hate that I'm enjoying this.
The man with a postage stamp mustache just approaches you in the street.
But yeah, no, when I was a kid, we used to go on vacation to Switzerland. And like, yeah, no, we used to go around like all around like Lac Le Mans and like Constance and stuff and Geneva and Zurich. It was beautiful. It was lovely. I had great memories of it. Also, Swiss, probably most Islamophobic country in Europe. And that's fucking saying something.
Yeah, because
I remember when I was over there, they had that what was it, the advertising campaigns for one of the political parties.
Oh, the SVP,
like,
Schweizer Volkspartei.
Bunch of sheep kicking a black sheep out of the country.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. There's one with the Swiss flag covered in minarets, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they wanted to ban building minarets, which is such a fucking Swiss thing to do, to ban something that does not exist in your country. There are no purpose-built mosques in Switzerland, to the best of my knowledge. But they're like, no, you can't build a minaret, as if somebody was going to come along and be like, yeah, it's a minaret now, fuck you.
What if imams just start going around and declaring various towers in Switzerland to be minarets, and then they got to tear them down.
Points at Schloss. All of these minarets.
Just frantically start doing controlled demolitions of historic buildings.
Well, speaking of Switzerland and controlled demolition, you know that until very recently, all of the bridges at the French and German borders, all of the like highway bridges were mined. Like as part of their general state of paranoia about the Germans coming in over the border, pretty much like all of the mountains concealed massive, expensive bunkers, and all of the bridges, they could just like pull those with explosives at any time. It's cool.
Yeah, that's actually I've read that. I really like the idea of like building an entire nation that's just seconds from demolition. And the whole thing is just constantly rigged to blow. Here in the US, we do that, but accidentally.
Yeah. No, they did it in a very European way where everything in Switzerland is really overbuilt. So like every house and I think every apartment building had to have a fallout shelter.
To protect you from all the explosives they put in everything.
Yeah, just simply get in the safe room, which is the one room that we haven't mined heavily. But like it was so expensive.
There's a mini cannon here on the ceiling, like that scene from The Accountant. If you need it,
yeah. This was so expensive that the Swiss government, the federal government, is trying frantically to get rid of all of this shit, and like nobody wants to buy it. But they're like, "Hey, do you want to buy a bunch of like deep mountain shelters that we were gonna shove everybody into if the Germans came over the border in 1997?"
Just using C4 as insulation in all the buildings.
Yes, the house guts.
The housemates. The succulent housemates.
I assume that makes decommissioning bridges a very quick process. Don't need this shit anymore. Just push a plunger.
Just push the button.
Sorry to turn this episode into like Alice remembers things about Switzerland, but like they have a lot of weird shit in that country.
Yo, yeah.
Yes.
Please give us our gold back.
They have, in order to give you their gold back, all of the cantons have to do their special thing where they all go and get their father's halberds out of storage in the garage, go meet in the village square where once a year they decide not to let women vote, and then they have to like unanimously be like, yeah, we give him his gold back.
That's very New England.
The town meeting, yes.
Yeah.
Are there a bunch of towns in New England called shit like New Switzerland or like New Bern and shit?
Yes.
Yeah, it's new.
So
everything.
I was wrong. The problem with America is not like an imported English psychosis. It's not even an imported German psychosis. You're all Swiss. You're all fucking from Appenzell. That's why you're like that.
Yeah, like to go and shoot the Jews on the weekend. Hates it when the Africans move into my nice white community. Please pay no attention to the Nazi gold train rumbling through on the T. Moving on before I get canceled.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, so my favorite European country is Italy because everything is broken, but it's fun.
Oh,
Pete Buttigieg is going to learn from their transport and infrastructure decisions.
You know that thing that Roz, you told me about New York is fun hell and LA is shitty heaven. Italy is fun hell.
Italy is fun hell. Everything there is broken. Everyone's drunk. The only reason the great monuments and landmarks there are as beautiful as they are because they're contrasted with so much just shit everywhere. Right?
Even the cops look ridiculous, and like not even ridiculous like British cops, but like you'll be getting chased down the street by a guy wearing riding breeches and 14 Aiguillettes. It's like cool. Maybe he's gonna have to get into his shitty little Alfa Romeo to like drive after me.
Yeah, all the cars are broken too, which is entertaining. What is okay? Here's an interesting one. Which of the three of you could build the highest tower using only things already in your domiciles?
Me. Definitely me, 100%.
Oh,
Got technically a 2-bedroom apartment filled with various of bullshit. Like, you just start piling up the Soviet greatcoats and it goes from there, you know?
Here's the thing, though. Liam lives in a 3-story house and therefore has access to the roof, thereby giving him a 30-foot advantage to start out with.
Yes.
But I live in a like a 5-story apartment building. I live in like a Glaswegian Khrushchevka. Now, I don't technically have access to the roof because like there is no roof access. It's a flat roof up there that's just above the top guy's apartment. But I figure someone in this building has to have a ladder and a hammer, and that means that I can go through that guy's ceiling. So if we're going that way, then yeah, I can probably do that. Also, I'm pretty certain I live at a higher elevation above sea level.
Yeah, that's a good point on that one. Yeah,
we're not at sea level, but I mean, I could stack the fridge and a bunch of computer cases I have laying around.
Half those computer cases are in my apartment, though.
No, they're in both. No, some of them are in my garage now.
Do you know that Apple's Compass app has an altimeter now? Because I'm gonna look this up.
Am I allowed to stack the GTI on its end?
Yeah, go for it.
Then I win.
As I sit on my ass recording this with having stacked nothing, I'm already 30 meters in the air. So far, I think I'm winning handily.
Let me check my altitude. What is my elevation?
Just let me whip out this like vintage altimeter I got off of a MiG at a thrift store.
Alice, for some reason, it is giving me your elevation and not mine when it looked for my location.
Cool. Okay, we're defeating the surveillance state by making it believe that all three of us are me.
I'm Alice Caldwell Kelly.
That's right, and you are 30 meters elevated off the ground.
I'm at 28 meters.
Ha! Cock. What's the weather like down
there? Alice, aren't you like 5'2" in real life?
5'7". I'm 5'7". I am taller than average woman.
5'2".
If
I walk up the stairs, then I would be higher than you.
Yeah, if you break into Miss Venus's apartment and use her to help you stack stuff, you could probably win this.
That's a good point, because then I could stick it on top of like the kitchen. Right? Yeah.
And get the cat.
No, I what?
Get the cat. I want the cat.
Get the cat up.
Give me the cat.
I would say Alice probably wins this one too, just by virtue of having a taller building than us.
I think we probably have to concede here. Next question, please.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's figure this out. What is your stance on Thomas the Tank Engine?
Good.
Yeah,
really?
Kind of. I don't know. I watched it when I was a kid, I guess, because it was on before Blue Peter. Because all British TV is very comical. What the hell is Blue Peter? Blue Peter is a like youth show where like they would do things. Is the only way I could describe it. Like, you would.
I've definitely heard of this before.
Yeah. So like they would have little crafts projects and stuff, but also they would send their presenters to like go explore the world so that you children could like find out similarly. Like they'd send a guy to go on like the Marines like assault course or something.
Oh wow!
Or like they bring
hey kids, do you want to go kill some Afghanistanis?
Yeah, that's right. But like there is a lot of ideology in it. But like also the other thing is if you like sent in a way you like helped your community or whatever, they would send you a Blue Peter badge, which like was cool, I guess. So you could get a fun little thing for your participation.
You get a and then you could wear that when you when you were inducted into the SAS.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Thomas the Tank Engine is good. I think some of the new episodes are weird.
Have
Really
you
weird.
seen people getting mad about them though? Like they're genuinely upset about the purity of Thomas the Tank Engine being destroyed by the new stuff.
Well, people are mad because it's like, oh, there's some fucking multicultural engines now, right?
What?
And
They
yeah,
have
like
trains other places.
yeah, they're like, it's a train from Africa, it's a train from Asia, it's a train from so on and so forth, and it's like, this is supposed to be an English show, right, or some bullshit.
Coming
and I'm
over
like,
here,
all y'all
taking
know,
our jobs.
every single one of the locomotives pictured, the prototypes were made by Bayer Peacock in Britain.
Yeah, but like, an imam has just come up and declared Thomas to be a mosque, and unfortunately, that chimney is now a minaret.
The steam dome is now painted. Now has a bunch of Islamic inscriptions on it. Thomas the no, I can't think of a joke for that one.
Tonk engine. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thomas the Tawheed Engine. There you go.
Do you think more people would be anarchists if they realized that by acknowledging nation states, they give legitimacy to the Netherlands' continued existence?
Say that again.
Well, shit. Okay, you're talking me out of my like position firmly on the top left of the political compass here. All right,
Liam and I,
Liam, sorry, go ahead.
Liam and I came to a consensus on anarchism versus communism a couple weeks ago.
Did we?
Which is that states are bad, but bureaucracy is good.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
What you should do is you should have, as a form of mutual aid, you should have a guy doing all of the bureaucracy in your commune.
Yeah, the leftist commune where you work 12 hours a day doing bureaucracy.
That's the real
Sign
answer.
me up.
Yeah, that's the real answer to that thread that was going around. That's like, what's your job in the commune? Is like, I do a voluntary DMV.
Yes.
I am a voluntary bureaucrat.
Well, like the Soviet Union's bureaucracy outlasted the Soviet Union. It's still around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, public transit kept running. The factories kept running. You can still buy a lot of
a lot of the like do nothing jobs, like the guy who watches the elevator, as Milo Edwards from Trash Future has like put out, because like that was one of the Soviet Union's things, right? Is they just gave you jobs to do stuff, so you just have like the escalators in a subway station. You just have a guy in a booth whose only job was to watch those, and like he didn't do anything if it went wrong, but like he just kind of sat there and watched it. So Milo just observed that, like, yeah, no, those guys are still there. They're fine.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. You're just watching the escalator go up and down.
They're a pretty decent job, especially if you get like a hat.
Get a little clicker to see how many times it goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting there smoking a cigarette, reading Prada.
What was that word gonna be? Cigalello?
Cigarette. I love to smoke a cigarette and read Prada.
Smoke a sligalette.
I don't. Maybe you're reading
Sometimes the Polish just comes out.
Yeah,
Smoke ein Schligelett.
Which animal is nature's cop?
Now, this sucks because we had one growing up that I still miss, and it's also the easy answer, and also I love them, so this is very difficult for me, but it's German Shepherds. Or like any of the kind of shepherd-related dogs, like a Belgian Shepherd or whatever. It's a cop. That's a cop. That's why they always make them the cops in shows where animals are cops.
Yeah, it's true. That makes sense, and that's why the cops use them.
Mm-hmm. It's like the pat answer here is a pig, but pigs are actually very clean and friendly, and like they have orgasms that last over half an hour. All things no cop has ever been. So like, no, it's German Shepherds. I guess like I don't know. Are there any birds that like it exists. Any like animals that exist to inconvenience other animals, not even to like eat them or whatever, but just to like.
There's lots of parasites out there. Did we
I would
lose
say
Liam? Oh no, we didn't.
No, I'm still here. I was genuinely thinking because I was thinking like, is it an apex predator? You know,
Well,
because
things predate cops, like Vietnam veterans at traffic stops, heart disease, things of that nature. All of those are predators on cops. So, what's a middle-ranking predator that's just really annoying? You know. I guess the problem is that like all of the stuff in nature that's really annoying.
Is it maybe a white-tailed deer because they simply exist to annoy you? They're pests.
Well, they're very dumb.
There's this weird respect for them that I don't really understand. Like,
maybe the true answer.
They're cute or
Yes,
whatever.
you know what it is.
It's respect for the uniform, respect for our boys in brown.
It's house cats.
Shut the fuck up.
You're right. No, he's right. He's right.
I know
It's house cats.
It's house cats. Just murdering every bird they see, demanding attention, just constantly, and occasionally they'll be nice to you.
And when they are nice to you, they like obviously want something and expect something from it, and like
yes,
they expect you to be nice to them all the time in return. Assholes, little assholes.
Yes. Goddamn fucking cats! I love them. God damn it!
if you simply go off an extremely high dose of sertraline, you can have that exact same relationship with actual cops.
Here's an interesting one. Can you run someone over with a boat?
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking Kirsty McCall.
Yes, easy. Yes.
Does it count as running over though?
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Definitely
like-
yes.
It does.
Is
It does. If you're doing it on purpose, you're running them over. Yeah.
No, 100%. Kirsty McCall is my answer on this. Run down by, was it a jet ski? I mean,
I think
arguable whether that counts as a boat or not, but like, yeah.
I don't know,
Here
I
we
was
go.
thinking there might be a different word for it, but like
It was a
on the
power
other-
boat. I guess you could say run down by instead of run over by, but
I guess you are technically still being run over.
well, yeah, like
You're
it's like
still
the
sailed over,
Wikipedia.
yeah.
The Wikipedia on Kirsty McCall in the section death simply says she was struck by the boat which ran over her. So I think that settles it. That's a conclusive
That's some real
ruling.
cop speak. I like that.
Yeah, it was struck by in the powerboat style vehicle, which is proceeding in a westwardly direction towards the west.
We don't know
The
what
location of the
happened.
vicinity of the
Wink, wink, nudge,
premises.
nudge. We didn't do it.
Wait, are you
struck
saying
by
the
a
cops?
police
The
bullet.
cops
Who
killed
would
Kirsty
have
McCall?
known? I can't
Like,
believe
covered
this
it
is
up like Fred
happening.
Hampton.
It was an animal cop, though.
It was a house cat.
You know, it was a house cat
It's the
on
one
a
house
jet
cat that
ski.
doesn't hate water.
It's actually
Fucking ran down
it was the
Kirsty
dog.
McCall.
It was them and the dog from Paw Patrol.
Chase.
Fucking
Yeah.
fascist
Yeah.
propaganda.
I was about to say, some people talk about like Thomas the Tank Engine being, sort of Protestant work ethic propaganda,
Hmm.
but like Paw Patrol, that's fascist propaganda right
Oh
there.
yeah. Like at some point, you do have to ask yourself when you consume culture these days, what would actually be different if this was the Sixth Reich in terms of like the TV shows, right? It's like there's not necessarily a lot now, which is not great.
You'd probably have a sign off at the end of the day where they play the national anthem.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
The uniforms would be different, but like
there'd be nicer uniforms.
there would totally be like
nicer.
there would totally be like a cops thing where they follow the fucking SS around, you know?
Yes.
Ugh. Don't need that.
You think there'd be a Reno 911, but about the SS?
Yeah, just like
We already
do you
have that.
think,
That's just
do you think
Hogan's
if they
Heroes,
won the
Rocz.
war, do you think if they won the war that like the Nazis would get into a space where they'd be okay with themselves making fun of the SS that way?
Yeah, or at least
That's
the
a good-
essay. I think so.
I think,
Well, I mean-
I think probably so. Yeah.
The issue is, I mean, you either have, they either have to chill out or fascism collapses, as it always does. I mean, I don't think you could have a situation where the Nazi regime lasts long enough in an incredibly militaristic situation where they'd have a stable society. Like they'd probably just, wind up nuking everyone or something.
Yeah, it's why those like alternate history books like Fatherland don't really work, or like Man in the High Castle was like it's the 60s or it's the 80s or whatever, and they're just still going full tilt instead of doing the shit that Germans who had been Nazis were actually doing in the 60s and the 80s, which was making Mercedes and working for NATO. So
Yes.
Hey, but the 380 SL though. Look at it.
They're nice cars. No, I'm sorry, but sometimes you do just get a guy who looks like an actual skull with like an eye patch and a bunch of denazified decorations being like, no, you must get into F-104 Starfighter in order to defend against communism.
There was
Wearing
a guy.
round glasses and everything.
Oh,
yeah. In order to preserve our
wiry-
Western liberal values.
Why are you saying Western like that?
To convey that he was a fucking Nazi.
I know. I was saying this as if I were an F-104 starfighter pilot.
Your F-104 starfighter pilot voice.
My favorite thing is that I saw a tweet that had a screen cap of Facebook careers, and the woman was like, "My family emigrated from Nazi Germany to Argentina with nothing," and I was just like, "This can't be real. Please don't tell me this."
Her name was Bettina G, and I was like,
Paza, why is there so much Nazi gold involved?
Goebbels.
Why does all this gold have swastika on it?
It could be Goring. Could be Goring
that's
as
true.
well.
That is true.
Don't hug him. That's Hermann Goering.
Every year, the bit from The Simpsons where Hitler is alive in his 80s, living in Argentina and just getting saluted, getting the shopping, it becomes more true. Oh, God, that'd be a good question to ask, actually. So I'm going to ask it now. I'm going to supersede the Curious Cat, right? Which is, what's the funniest thing that Trump could declassify on his way out the door?
Files. God damn it, dude.
I think it's the still redacted CIA files from the JFK Assassination Records Act that are exempted.
I want to know the RFK assassination. I want to know if the CIA spent money investigating the idea of a Kennedy curse. That's not just them.
I got the
Fidel
funniest
stuff.
fucking reply about RFK, by the way, which was like, somebody else asked who else Trump was going to pardon, and somebody half jokingly said he should do Sirhan Sirhan. And somebody replied, I don't know, he's pretty dangerous. Like, the guy was able to shoot RFK in the ear while standing 10 feet in front of him. Like, you don't want to let that guy out of prison.
Man able to bend bullets like in the Matrix.
Yeah, he saw that movie Wanted and just like curved the thing.
And they had those guns they made for a while that like had a bent barrel.
Yeah, the Nazis.
corner shots.
The Nazis did that. Yeah,
the Nazis did it, and then not to make it equivalent here, but also an Israeli defense startup made a corner shot, which was literally that. Theirs was a Glock on a hinge, right? They literally put a Glock on a swivel with a webcam on it, and the webcam outputs to the stock.
That's the most Israeli solution I've ever heard.
Yeah, you can only fire it when you're wearing like white capri pants and getting in a fight outside of the worst pizza place in the world.
Why is it always in Tel Aviv? What is happening to me? I like the fact that the Nazis also invented the first night sight, and we just don't talk about that. And
Yeah,
they
it
called
was huge though.
Vampire.
Yeah, vampire. Yeah.
Vampire, yeah.
Didn't it have to get powered off of like a power pack that the guy wore
the
around
guy
as a
had to, like, hold it.
backpack?
Yeah. You know the scene from behind what is it, Enemy at the Gates?
Diesel hit and miss generator.
Well, actually, that's not even the most cursed piece of Nazi electrical engineering. The most cursed piece was that they had, and I didn't know this until recently, the Wehrmacht had hand-cranked dynamo flashlights Because, like, I mean, I guess obviously you can't fit like a battery in them with 40s technology. So you just have a flashlight that a guy just squeezes and it makes this awful dynamo noise. And you do that a bunch of times and it puts out some light.
They have those in emergency survival packs too, I think.
Huh.
Except
Because
the modern
emergency
ones-
survival packs are designed by Nazis.
Yes.
Oh no.
We're just unfurling this giant swastika flag. Why is this in here?
Why do we have a copy of Mein Kampf in here?
2 tickets to Buenos Aires. What?
Oh yeah, you know, the rat lines. Don't worry about that.
So, okay, here is another question. What is everyone's favorite locomotive?
Ooh.
G1.
Yeah, I'm with
The
Liam.
only
GG1.
correct answer.
I'm afraid so.
Let's hear it,
Yeah.
Ross. No, let's hear the bullshit, Ross.
You're
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
both going with a GG1?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
basic
saying both
bitch,
going with
Ross.
GG1.
You know what? I have a picture of you in front of a GG1 from 2 separate years there, asshole.
Yeah, I know. I like the
You're
GG1. It's
smiling
not my
broadly.
favorite. No, I'm here. It's me. I'm gonna be contradictory. I like 611. I think 611 is a good locomotive.
Talk about being a
Yeah.
basic bitch. Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm a basic bitch. I enjoy a big dumb black steam locomotive. Yes.
Red paint.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Let me refine this question. Favorite locomotive non-Steam edition?
Oh, who cares?
Yeah. You already said you like the GG1.
Yeah, 'cause that's the beauty of my answer. Is like, fuck you. I don't have to refine it. It's true of all times and of all seasons.
Oh, that's right.
No, I like the Fairbanks Morse Trainmaster.
Oh,
There.
yeah, you Jesus Christ, yeah.
It sounds like a Logitech peripheral.
Also, honorable mention to Baldwin 60,000.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in the steam locomotive episode. We had a slide about that.
You thought railway guns were dumb. Wait till you see Baldwin 60,000.
What is...
Are you just skimming through and like
I'm
filtering
skimming
out
through.
all the ones that aren't like abusive?
Yes.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Can I get an abusive one so I can yell at them?
Yeah, give us an abusive one.
We actually haven't gotten a lot of abusive ones. I can look for an abusive one.
How you doing, Liam?
Oh, Alice, I'm terrific. I'm just here holding my mic, laying down, just in the lap of luxury. That's what I'm doing. I just, I will say I do love, just to explain Baldwin 60,000 for a bit. Baldwin Locomotive Works of Philadelphia built a locomotive so heavy that it broke everything and nobody wanted it. So they had to give it to the Franklin Institute. And it just sort of sits there. I think because they were just like, oh, bigger locomotives do gooder. And they were just like, what if biggest locomotive? You should go to the Franklin Institute and reopen.
Well, I mean, the Nazis did that with tanks too, right?
Yeah, Ross and I were
Just like-
talking about that, of the mouse and the monster or whatever.
We love to build a Landkreutzer, which cannot go anywhere, but where it does go, it kind of runs out of fuel. A Soviet man comes and like sticks an
puts a
enormous
pistol
amount of
through,
explosives
yes.
to it. Yeah.
Well, there's the one that I can't remember the name, that they only ever built a hull and they took it from Britain after the war for testing and then scrapped it. I've always been fascinated by the Germans' just obsession with like the Panzer and just the idea of like, what if we took 6 Panzers and melted them together?
Well, I think the answer is what happens when the entire leadership of a country has massive PTSD from getting shelled every day when they were like 18 to 23 is they want to like build a gigantic armored machine and live in it.
And the fact that like not no chemical weapons were used in World War II, but like a mere 27 years later or 21 years later, really, you just didn't see them again, except being used on the Jews and the Roma
and
Yeah.
American soldiers and Japanese people and Chinese people. But on the Western Front, the only one that matters.
Yeah, they weren't just firing off shells of mustard gas every day, which, like, yeah.
Yeah, they found new and fascinating ways for you to die. They always do.
And
Roz,
like
give me an abusive-
nobody
Roz, hurl
ever
some abuse at
wanted.
me.
Yeah.
Someone has I'm looking for the abuse. We got not a lot of abuse. Someone said, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
Who picks these code phrases?
It's the IRA. Trying to warn the British.
This is the bomb warning. Is you just have to sexually harass the cops. You got to telephone in this
morning,
warning.
Bobbies. This is Seamus Finnegan.
That's a beautiful shirt. It'll look good on my flower.
Who
deny,
is-
confirm?
Who is your podcast nemesis?
Sean KB of the Intifada. Sean, you know what you did. Square up, baby.
I'm about to go on Sean's stream after we end this.
I'm fucking around. I love Sean very much.
Probably no. We'll carry that energy through.
Yeah,
I'll just come on the stream and be like, "Fuck you."
Of our sister podcasts, I love Riley very much, but he's my nemesis for another reason that we have incredibly clashing styles.
That is true.
Yeah. And Riley, if you're listening, I'm gonna kick your ass, son.
That's all right.
But also Sean KB, I'm coming for you. I'm coming.
Do we have any are there any Numtop podcasts? Are there any
who gives a shit
podcasts?
We get
There's-
posted
there's,
sometimes.
There's
we
the
do?
war on cars.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That's one of them. 99% Invisible is sort of sometimes on our turf.
Yeah, we don't have the same production values they have, so people don't want to listen to us.
Yeah, exactly. Who else is doing the sort of subject? You know what the real nemesis
Stuff you
is?
should
Probably
know.
engineering video YouTube, like the B1M or something like that. You know,
Yeah,
sort of-
our biggest competition is like a poorly cut together compilation of 10 most epic machinery fails.
yeah, but no, I'm talking about like the ones that present like this sort of Whiggish view of engineering progress, where it's like, look how great the Hyperloop or this giant highway tunnel is, and look at all these wonderful things which we're going to have in the future, even though A, we're not going to have them, B, they're not going to benefit anyone.
There's not going to be a future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
Or
at
if it is,
least
it
like
would be
someone like
trash.
yeah. Oh, thank you. At least like someone like Tom Scott will be like, "Hey, here's a giant toxic pit full of mine chemicals,"
Yes.
But yeah, I know the guys you mean who are just like, yeah, no, everything's gonna be fucking great.
Tahir and
Yeah.
Sot weirdos, basically, but they're not
Yeah.
that fanciful.
Two steps down from Tahir Inshad. Tahir Inshad is at least entertaining.
All right, what else we got?
What if we could get Tahir Inshad on the pod?
Ooh.
That would be funny. That would be like that would be our version of getting John McAfee on the pod.
Actually,
Yeah,
who's the funniest guest we could get on? And don't say Elon Musk because we wouldn't have him. But
Yeah, we wouldn't have Elon Musk.
we would turn down his offer.
You get Andy Byford on, that would be funny.
Andy Byford, I think, would be hilarious. I always wanted to see if we could get the Pope on.
Well, I mean, he's been kind of about to jeopardize his whole shit on Instagram because he's been found liking another post by another ego. So
There's nothing wrong with that. Look, I mean, the Pope is not allowed
Get a
to have a
burner
partner.
account, your holiness. Definitely not pontifex.
I just feel bad for the young priest who has to run the account and forgets to log out, right? Because you're a priest, you're supposed to do the celibacy thing. You should not be looking at with the best will in the world thoughts, but
Oh,
don't know if the,
get Dick Anderson on here to defend himself.
I don't know.
The
I don't know if
corpse
the,
of Robert Moses, cadaver
oh.
synod.
Yeah, kind of cadaver sign out on Robert Moses. I don't know if the guy who runs the Pope's social media account is in the clergy. And even
You'd
if he
assume
is,
he had to be.
he
but-
might be a deacon. So
Yeah.
which means you can fuck.
Thank you, Roz.
Mm-hmm. So I figure there's a lot of non clergy people working at the Vatican. I don't know why the social media guy has to be a priest.
I just figure because priests do all of the Pope's other shit, like the fucking Camerlengo or whatever, or the
Yeah, that's
papal
true.
household and stuff. They're all priests.
They probably outsource it all now.
You
Outsource
just
it.
try and get Pope tech support, and you just
Yeah.
end up on the phone to Carola.
Yeah. What is your best Canada story?
Man, I don't even have a Canada story. I don't think I've never been. I've never been to Canada. So it's all you guys. You got to rescue this one for me. Remember, the statute of limitations on traffic crimes has expired.
I would say the most memorable. Do we want to tell the story? I think for the first time on air, the first time I've ever spoken about this publicly.
Which one? Which one
the
is
time
it?
we went to Halifax and then everything got worse, Rocz.
Oh, right. Yeah. When we were broken men on the Halifax Pier.
The last of Barrett's privateers. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll tell this story. This is going to be uncomfortable. And my girlfriend could definitely hear this, but she already knows what happened. So, all right. So, Roz and I and my dad went to Newfoundland, or we were trying to go to Newfoundland, right? And where did we stay the first night? Freeport, Maine?
Yeah, we were in
shithole hotel?
Freeport. Yeah, Freeport. Really, really shitty hotel. We went to that really bad brewery.
Oh, yeah. Not Maine Brewing, even though they were down the road from us because we were tired. And we waited an hour and a half for some of the most mediocre beer I've ever had in my life.
We saw a guy with a 3%er tattoo checking in ahead of us.
No, remember he had to leave. They wouldn't. His card got declined.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And then we drove on and went to that hotel. We drove from Freeport, Maine. Rod said go through the small border crossing.
Yeah, I did do that, and
then
that
what
turned
happened?
out to be.
And then what happened?
We got detained at the border.
Yes, and whose fault was it that we got detained at the border?
Possibly yours.
Your fault. It was your fault we were detained at the border.
How did you get detained at an international border?
They just made us pull over and made us sit on our asses for 30 minutes and kept asking me what I did for work.
They were like, wind down the window. Why are you coming to Canada? And Justin was like, we're going to kill Justin Trudeau.
Who deserves it? We might have to take that one out.
No, we did the Main Street crossing from St. Stephen to Calais. Although I believe they actually pronounce it callous.
Oh, fuck off. Everywhere in Quebec is mispronounced.
Oh, this is in Maine.
Everywhere in Maine is mispronounced also.
Yeah.
Oh
we,
shit. That was a trip. We also discovered that convenience store in Maine that does we went on the Maine airline and they have liquor and game weighing and it's a post office and the register makes the Sonic the Hedgehog noise when you pay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we had to go back to it because of all the list of things I never thought I'd be at again. That was pretty far up there. So we drove on. We got a hotel. Did we even get a hotel in St. John? Or did we just drive clear to Halifax?
We drove clear to Halifax.
572 miles in the fucking dark, in the fucking rain, with my dad and Roz screaming to keep me awake, literally just arguing about bullshit for 7.5 hours. We crossed into Atlantic time, and I forgot that New Brunswick and Nova Scotia run on different time zones, or wherever it is. I think it's New Brunswick that's actually the line. And like my brain
New Brunswick
broke.
is the line.
My brain broke, and we had to pull off so I could process that other time zones existed. Well, it was not fun. So we make it to Halifax. We made it actually to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, where the only thing open was a fucking McDonald's. Because for whatever reason they closed the Tim Hortons because they're a bunch of fascists. And then the next day, a girl I'd been seeing called me to let me know that she had miscarried. when we were in Halifax, and Roz and I were at a bar. We had gone to see the Halifax, the Citadel, and I remember we were on a pier in Halifax for Canada's 150th.
She called you in the Trailer Park Boys bar.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she did. And then we went to the pier. Yeah, no, my bad. Yeah, we were in the Trailer Park Boys bar. That part's true. Yeah, and I was just like, all right, we have to like go home. And we it was unpleasant. We then like the waitress at the pier bar in Halifax, it was like September, felt so bad for us that she just comped our drinks as Roz and I just sort of stared at the ground. And then we got back in the car, and I told myself we were gonna make it in a clear shot because we still had a couple days before she got back. By the way, I hadn't cleared this up, but I knew the pregnancy was happening, and I was going to go, be a dad or whatever. And so we drove. My plan in delirium was to drive from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Quebec City, which is a distance, I think, of about 500 miles. And in Edmundston, New Brunswick, I just gave out, and Roz had to find a hotel on hotwire.com. And then in an act born purely out of decadence, greed, and arrogance, in the moment of my most meaningful suffering, Roz and my fucking dad made me take their suitcases in. Which fuck y'all.
Jesus.
So we then drove to Quebec City from Edmundston, and I forget, did we just make it back from Quebec? Did we go to Montreal for like half a day or something?
Yeah, we were in Montreal for a very short period of time.
I have a picture of you just like standing really annoyingly in like a shot of what would have been a good shot. And then I drove, I had to go back to New York to see the girl in question, and it was horrifically uncomfortable for everyone involved. So yeah, that's the story of now the best Canada trip. This is Canada. Welcome back to Canada Chat with Liam, Alice, and Ross.
Your CanCon section.
CanCon. We drove in to make up, since we obviously didn't make it to Newfoundland the first time. Roz and I basically vowed to go back. We drove from here to Boston, where we saw, shout out to Juliet Eldred. Yes, I know, the creator of Numb Tots. Ha ha.
Yeah.
And went to a bar in Boston. Then we went, where did we go? St. John? And we were going to get
St. John.
We got this haunted Airbnb, so we had to leave and get an actual hotel room because it was just in this lady's house, and it was very creepy, and it was not as advertised. So we went to got this hotel with the arcade and the breakfast. I remember that, and then drove. It was it was recently a Howard Johnson, but it was not at the time we were there.
Did you do the thing where you're like, this was a Howard Johnson? I can tell. You can always tell.
Yeah, you could like peel the stuff off. You could literally, Roz, remember you could just peel the logo off the phone?
No, I mean, it was right there. You didn't have to peel anything off. It just said Howard Johnson on it.
Right.
I met some fans of my YouTube in St. John. They gave me a book. It was very nice.
Yes. Then we went on to Halifax, where nothing bad happened this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then did we stay in Halifax, or did we just drive to the ferry?
We drove to the ferry. We
drove to the ferry across Nova Scotia, which was harrowing as all hell. And my favorite part of that was that we had there's a turn when you're about to get into Yarmouth to where the ferry is, where they've been warning you for 50 miles that it's a 10-mile-an-hour turn, and I still took it at 40, and I was just like, oh, that's why they tell you, so you don't go into this wall.
You've been driving at 50 for like
it's not
10 hours.
It's North Sydney, not Yarmouth. Yarmouth's on the other side.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right, North Sydney. You're right. Then we got on the ferry that Roz almost made us late for, and then Roz had to pee, so Roz had to run out from the car line, find a bathroom, get back in the car. I was gonna leave you, man. Real talk. That's the closest I've ever come to just abandoning you, besides the time I abandoned you in a mechanical closet.
Well, you know, the thing is that after I got back, we waited for another 30 minutes.
I know we did.
How did you almost abandon him in a mechanical closet?
I did abandon him in a... Well, no, his phone was dead and he fell asleep in the mechanical closet. And then he blamed me for abandoning him, but I had told him very clearly that we were playing by Top Gear rules.
We were in college and we were drunk.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yes.
So we get on the ferry. I like just got to tell this whole story. This whole as I recall it. Got on the ferry. The bar last called 20 minutes after we got onto it. So my plan, which was to get as drunk as possible, pass out, and get some sleep, was almost foiled. Woke up, got off the boat, looked around wherever the hell we are, which was Wreck House.
Yes.
I had to get gas in a driving rainstorm, which I thought was going to overturn the GTI while you stayed in the nice warm car. Then we went to Corner Brook, where some people asked us if we were Americans. Went to McDonald's,
Which we were.
saw the nice little
Yeah,
railway
guilty.
museum. Shout out to Newfoundland. Was it Newfoundland Sean that was on this show?
It was Newfoundland, Sean. Yes.
Yeah, Corner Brook. Hello again.
Yes.
Went to the beautiful railway museum if you ever make it up there. And then we
Just
drove
a tiny one, but it's nice.
on Newfoundland's one road for 13 hours, 600
and
miles.
you met Trailer Guy, your escort.
Yeah. We met our escort trailer guy, who, once again, if you're not familiar with, well, there's your problem lore, drove approximately 100 miles an hour through some of the worst weather I've ever been in my life, and just blocked for us. We got food at a place called Jungle Gyms, in beautiful Gander, Newfoundland, home of the one speed trap on the Trans Canada.
Their logo is a picture of a happy alligator, which someone informed me is cultural appropriation of Florida.
Yeah, alligators which famously live in jungle. You know?
Yes.
So we had done that, and then we went and got to St. John, Newfoundland, finally, after running off the road twice and almost dying. Then we realized that it was Canada Day, and all the bars had run out of beer. Went to a nice little Irish pub called, what was it, Bertie Malloy's? And we were
Something
the only
like
two
that.
people drinking in there. And as we left, they locked the doors after us. It was magnificent. Went home, continued to get appallingly drunk, passed out, woke up at 12 noon the next day, got some Powerade and some Advil, threw up in the drugstore parking lot, went to see the Newfoundland sites, met Kirsten and friends, and then the next day,
other Newfoundlanders.
Yes, at some point we had agreed that we wanted to go to Saint-Pierre, which is the last French holding in North America. It is a 4.5 hour drive from St. John to where you pick up the ferry. We did it in about 3 hours, less than that, I think, because I was doing, it's a route of, it's a stretch of road called the Heritage Run. There are no cops, and the GTI was flat out basically the entire way. Got on the boat where a woman from Tennessee asked if I was from Kentucky. Then we went to the tiny little French town that's entirely dependent on tourism for survival, and nothing was open.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, they close all the restaurants down for lunch right after the ferry gets there.
Yeah.
That is the most French move I've ever heard.
And we went back to Newfoundland, and then we drove all the way home, and we stayed in Bangor. I hardly knew her Maine. And
we saw the only guillotine used in North America.
Yes, we did. They that's part of the museum they don't even charge admission for. You could just walk in and see the guillotine. They actually have a little plaque that just says La Guillotine.
La guillotine.
Yeah.
Just so you know what it is.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
And you're like, I got to take this back across the border. I'm sorry, I need it for Congress.
Yes, please. Never mind me. Never mind me. Never mind me.
just packing it up like flat pack furniture.
This just says IKEA. Why is it cut through its own box? Don't worry about that. We stayed in what I think was a honeymoon seat behind a truck stop.
Guillotine.
Yeah, just guillotine
Right
sticking out of the sunroof.
Right, yeah, because I did the thing where I booked the thing on I use Hotwire, and I always have incredible luck with it. And they booked us into a small room with one bed at this hotel in Bangor, and I called them up and I was like, "Hey, do you have a room with 2 beds? I wanted one with 2 beds." And they're like, "Yeah, we do." So they booked us into the main lodge.
The presidential suite.
Yes. It was ginormous. It was huge.
And everything had flannel. And it was flannel everything.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
flannel everything.
Oh, the lesbian presidential suite.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
So
next
that's
question.
Canada.
Next
Yeah,
question.
what's up? What's the next one?
What is the next one? Let's figure this out.
See if there are any for me. I'm curious. Also, I like talking about myself.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Well, there was a few that were you, but they were abusive.
No, give me the abusive ones. I can take them.
Oh boy.
What's the abusive one? So this is an interesting one because there was one that was a few questions later that was like maybe they're remorseful over it.
Oh, boy.
Hold
I
on.
remember
Okay.
that. I remember that. Yep.
I'm the only one who hasn't looked at the Curious Cat at all. So, like,
That was smart of you.
this is going to be a surprise for me.
No, I so anonymous asks. So Alice is a lesbian, but she's married to a man? ?
Yeah. People are trans. It's weird.
Yeah, I that's what I thought. Yeah, you know. And then they follow up 2 questions later with, "I'm sorry for that personal question. I don't know what I was thinking."
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay.
cool. Good talk.
Yeah.
No, I'm not very like emotionally riven by that one. I'm just like, yeah, no, this is fine.
Any pro tips for reducing things to soup, like to a soup-like homogenate?
Oh, in my experience, there's only one thing that can reduce a mouse to a soup-like homogenate in 30 seconds or less, and that's the FIA's homologation committee.
Yes.
That'll do it. Yeah. What is our backstory on irrational hatred of the Dutch?
Fuck them.
They're a terrible country.
I think they're better than me.
Yeah, I went.
It's true.
This will give you an example of the kind of school that I went to. We did a history trip, which was like a week-long trip where we went to like World War I battlefields. We did, genuinely, it was a staff ride, right? Despite the fact that we were all 15, 16, right? And so we did this staff ride. We went to see lots of cemeteries. I saw an ossuary, which is where they cram a building full of bones, which is metal as hell. I went to Yeppe, or Ypres if you prefer, or Wipers if you want the British pronunciation. And it was a horrible place. It felt like they had just kind of constructed World War I Disneyland. Would you like some remembrance themed chocolate hard sold to you? And it's like, well, no, not really, but like you're gonna keep doing that. And so wait, is Ypres in Belgium or the Netherlands? Is my next question, because it kind of undercuts my whole point if it's in Belgium.
Although the Belgians also suck ass.
Yeah, it's in Belgium.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. The Dutch also suck, but for reasons I don't remember.
Would you really notice a difference if you were in
No.
the Netherlands or Belgium?
No, the mayor. Finding out while googling Ypres, the mayor of Ypres is named Emily, but she spells Emily with 2 M's, which kind of gives you a sense of the whole place.
I don't like that.
Bastards.
Someone asked, have any of you had any paranormal experiences?
None.
I mean,
Sorry.
does religion count? Because
why not?
if not, then no. Although I am grateful that Islam allows for the possibility of the paranormal, because you can just write it off by being like, oh, jinns. It's all jinns. Heard a door slam? Jinn.
That's a jinn.
Seen a ghost as a jinn, probably. Mothman is definitely a jinn.
Got drunk. That was jinn too. Hold on, I'll be right back. I may have a paranormal experience. Very recent one.
Oh, I'm gonna get a Coke Zero from the freezer. I will let you know if I have a paranormal experience on the way to or from the freezer.
What is your favorite pizza? Parentheses style topping. Close parentheses question mark. Pepperoni. I'm ashamed to say I really like Chicago pizza. I really like new style pizza. It used to be near my old apartment in Philly.
Highly recommend it. What else we got?
I'm back.
Have you considered that due to your audience, your inbox is going to be filled with nothing but shit posts? Shut the fuck up.
Oh, how's it going? I did not have a paranormal experience while retrieving this Coke Zero.
Liam, have you bought Snus, the complete guide to brands, manufacturing, and art of enjoying smokeless tobacco from buysnus.com for a bonus episode on the best thing Sweden has done since meatballs, not counting the Saab 99 Turbo? I haven't. I mean to buy that book. I will buy that book. People keep recommending it to me. What state has the worst drivers and why is it Maryland? It is absolutely Maryland, and it is because they do not designate the left lane as a passing lane. They designate it as a travel lane specifically. So you cross the line from Pennsylvania to Maryland and vice versa. If you grew up in New York like I did, which is only a few miles north of the Maryland line, you will get fucking obstinate, idiotic Maryland drivers who drive fucking 55 in the left lane because they have no fucking idea that in Pennsylvania is a passing lane. It is absolutely Maryland. Maryland is a godforsaken state. The only good part of Maryland is the Eastern Shore and Baltimore. I absolutely fucking hate Maryland drivers. Go Ravens. Also suck a dick.
I always thought Maryland is Virginia's New Jersey.
It is.
Yeah.
If train good and car bad, what about bicycles? Bicycles are for assholes. Next.
I never learned to ride a bicycle as a kid, and every so often I think, yeah, I've got to learn to ride a bike. This is going to be the year when I do that. And then I look outside and I see a cyclist being reduced to a soup-like homogenate by a delivery truck, like in the sort of snow slush, and I'm like, maybe next year.
And Liam, tell us about his other cars. Yes. The van is immortal, and please don't take us being sick of the van. Give us more van too. I have had in my life a Volvo 850R that I had painted canary yellow because we never got the yellow in the United States. I sold it. It was the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. I had a 2000 Jeep Cherokee in black that my dad sold for $1. Absolutely fucking tank of a thing. I loved it very much. The 4-liter straight six is the only good engine Chrysler ever made. And that's only because I got it from AMC. I had a 2006 red Mazda 3.
Not a Mopar guy.
No, 2006 red Mazda 3 that I crashed and totaled. I have now a red GTI. Of my cars, the Volvo was my favorite because it had the illusion of being safe, and it did 143 when you asked it to. Also, in our logo, Rocz is the guy with no face.
Rocz is the subway token.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the subway token is the thing for do not eat 01.
To Liam, who is the person you want to punch the most, at least in this life? Probably Pat Toomey. Absolutely.
Are you just going down and answering every single question?
No, I'm just looking for Liam, bro. To Alice.
Just control F Liam. Yeah, to me.
To
okay,
Alice. Sorry if this ends up being an uncomfortable question. Open parentheses, not my intention to do so. Close parentheses.
Yeah. Again.
What was it like transitioning?
But no, it's weird. If you want to do it, you should do it. It sucks to do it in a country that's as psychotic about it as Britain is. Also, the other thing is that like it doesn't solve all of the other problems in your life. You're just so like you kind of start out before transitioning and you're like, oh, I'm wearing a shapeless black hoodie. I feel crippling gender dysphoria and I'm super depressed. And then you start transitioning and you're like, well, I'm wearing a nice dress and I'm not feeling as much suicidally depressed. And I'm like, I'm not feeling as much gender dysphoria. And then like a couple of years in, you're like, I'm wearing a shapeless black hoodie because that's comfortable. I'm not feeling any gender dysphoria and I'm still suicidally depressed. It's like... It's worth doing, but like it's not going to solve everything for you. Is the thing.
Transitioning is just a temporary period of dressing better.
Yes, literally yes. It's a period where you like learn to do eye makeup, and then another period where you're like, I'm not going to do that. It's like if you want to like genuinely, right, that's part of the reason why I'm so glad I'm a lesbian, right? It's because like so much of the like high femme stuff, it's so much fucking work, dude. Do I want to like get nails done? No, I want to cut them short like I was doing before and just like also not feel crippling gender dysphoria. So that's what it's like. It's cool. It's based. It's poggers.
Based poggers. Yes. All right. I've taken over. Roz, there's apparently an Australian actor named Justin Rosniak. Which one of you wins in a fight?
I looked up a picture of the guy and I was like, I might be able to take this guy on. I'm not good at fighting.
Rack
but,
off me fucking you.
Bring back
that's true.
elevator.
He is Australian. He's probably
Probably got like a couple of snakes in the bed of his truck or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Like-
He's got
Oh yeah, there's a
snakes. He has
kangaroo fucking around back there.
Yeah, he's got a kangaroo with a gun. Yeah.
Bring back
Chris
elevator video.
is-
Oh, go ahead.
Chris is learning Vietnamese for some reason.
That's
and one of the
impressive.
things, right? And one of the things he told me, apropos of nothing one day, is that the Vietnamese for kangaroo is pouch rat. And I've been thinking
Yep.
about that ever since. It's
That's
like,
an
yep, that's what it is. It's a pouch
That's
rat.
an accurate description. Yes. No, I was going to talk about my paranormal experience.
Yes, go.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So, as people may know from Twitter, my heating was out for about 5 days. Over,
And like the terror, you started to experience delirium from cold.
no, you know what it was? Is I didn't really notice that the cold water was out until just after I was on the podcast with the Trillbillies on Saturday afternoon, right? And during that podcast, we were talking about Dollywood, and I described the previous attraction that was Dollywood, the Rebel Railroad, and made a joke about our boys in gray, right, who come to save the day in that particular attraction, right? And that was right after that was when I noticed, oh, the water's out, the hot water's out, oh, the heat is out too. Shit, right? So then 4 days later, I remembered, I live in a house which is built on the site of Setterley Hospital, the largest hospital for the Union Army in the Union, right? And it's like, maybe I offended some Union war dead. Sort of do a silent act of contrition there, and then like 5 minutes later, the hot water came back on.
Yeah, it's probably gin.
I probably, yeah.
How many times have each of you been blackout drunk? And if you were a soup, what kind of soup would you be?
How many times have I been blackout drunk? I want to
don't
say
remember.
Yeah, pretty
literal
much.
dozens.
Like I've
Yeah.
only
No,
got
I
to go
don't
off of
remember.
these Polaroids I've been taking. Like I don't know. I want to say like 2 or 3, maybe.
There's a list of all the embarrassing things you've done while blackout drunk. Please
Yeah, what I
recite
have
them
to
to
do-
the crowd.
What I have to do is I have to get into like a near-death experience so that I get the like life review thing, and then I get to see all of the shit that I did when I was blackout drunk.
That
So-
sounds awful.
brain
But
just
remind me
goes-
not to have a near-death expect.
Well,
Don't
statistically, you're
have a
gonna have
near-death
one.
experience.
Does it count as a near-death experience if you actually die?
I don't know. Is it like
That's
near
what you-
to
that's-
somewhere if you're in
that's-
somewhere?
Miss? They should have called it a near hit.
What do you see when you die? It's your blooper reel.
I just see a bunch of outtakes of myself, like an old screwball comedy movie. Just like me, like mugging to the camera, like.
Oh, I actually, this is gonna be fun. How
Okay.
Liam got on the podcast? I remember the early episodes. He said he just complained at Rocz. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
literally
pretty
what
much.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
lot of
literally what you
questions.
did.
A lot of questions asking how this podcast started, which was
Justin is
Al-
easy to yell at, and so like literally what I did was I was like, "Hey, we should start a podcast," and he was like, "Okay," and
Okay.
then Liam was
Oh,
like,
oh.
"I should be on this podcast," and he was like, "Okay."
okay. Yeah. Like,
You're a very agreeable man, is the thing.
we should start a podcast. Okay, I'll do all the work.
And like genuinely, like I'm so happy that Liam, that you bullied him into doing this, because the first couple of episodes, like, they weren't funny is the thing.
Well, there was one, the Silver Bridge was the first, that was the only non-Liam episode.
Yeah, and it wasn't funny. Like, it was okay, but it felt like we hadn't really found our thing yet.
Yeah.
And all of the comments were justly people who didn't like get the format yet, being like, why is this dumb asshole interrupting the guy that I want to hear, Justin, talking? And it's like, well, no, the point
Now we
of the
have two
format is
people to
that,
do it.
yeah, now that we
Yes.
have two people to do it, you know, it's supposed to happen. And you're
Yes.
like, oh, that's what happens. This is what this is. It's the smart guy getting interrupted by dumb people podcast.
Yes.
Oh, I have a good one. Have any of you actually seen the Do Not Eat fanfic? And if so, how would you rate it? I refuse to.
I
believe
have
it doesn't
not.
exist. I have read both Do Not Eat fanfics. They're okay.
Oh my God.
Buddy, if he is aware of them
I'm
and
not
refuses to
looking
read
at
them,
I
it's
am
fine.
not looking at him.
It's fine. No, the one. Can I talk
All
about this,
copies
or should
should
I
be
just
burned.
move on? Should I just move on?
One of them was published in the goddamn Drexel literary anthology.
What?
Oh yeah, which one was that? Was
Yeah.
that the one where you got her pregnant, or was that the other one?
What?
I have no fucking clue. I have
Okay, I
blanked
guess
this
somebody's
from
going to
my
start
mind.
writing fan fiction about me, because I'm starting to feel jealous here.
All right. I will at least explain the more lore, baby. Oh my God. We were still in college. So this is a while ago. There was a person who was enamored with Rocz,
Yes.
who wrote some fanfics about him. In one of which they had a child.
Yes.
And then you as far as I recall, you abandoned the child.
I
and
abandoned my son.
just like
Yes.
his dad, he loved trains. That is a line from that fanfic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he had your curly brown locks, which, to be fair, Roz has great hair, and he does have very pretty eyes, ladies. My DMs are
Ladies.
open. $5. And the other one I think was that you guys were just like hooking up on the roof, which was actually a deck. Number one, she changed it to roof.
That's your
but it was a
objection.
deck. It was a deck.
It's
Oh
the
my God.
sanctity of the deck.
Yes.
And
The deck at the college apartment was a very special place.
You got to have a deck. I don't even have a balcony anymore. I had one for like 2 years when I
Yeah.
moved up to Glasgow from London, and then first time I've had a balcony in my life, because like before that I just had like a stoop, and then like now I don't, and it sucks, and I miss it still.
Having a nice stoop would be nice. You could sit there on the stoop. You could be the stoop kid.
Yeah, that's what I was doing in London for like the longest time. It was cool.
There's one thing I don't like about, like big apartment buildings is there's no outdoor space that you can really use. This is why I like living in row houses and stuff like that, because like I get a backyard, I get a front porch.
Yeah, the
Hang
only
it up.
downside of not having a stoop anymore is like, well, I guess upside, I should say. The only upside is it made me quit smoking, because I'm not going to go downstairs to smoke
Smart.
a cigarette.
Smart.
That makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
But like back when I could just throw the front door open in summer, I was like smoking a lot. So maybe it's for the best.
Oh. All right, hold up. Alice, are you ever going to play Kaiserreich on stream?
Yeah, probably, I guess. I don't know. Like, I genuinely like, it's funny, as much as I like Paradox games, for some reason I just have no interest in Kaiserreich. Like, people keep trying to get me to play it, and I'm just like, I don't want to.
Is that the one where you make all kinds of fucked up countries? I don't know which one.
Well,
that
like
is.
pretty much all Paradox games are that, but like it's a mod for Hearts of Iron where where Germany won World War One, and so the alternate history
fun.
there is like I think Britain is communist, France is the one that goes fascist, Russia's still a monarchy, things like that, and you can just kind of fuck around. Actually, now I'm explaining and I'm kind of selling myself on it a bit more, so maybe I will. But yeah, I don't know.
So Europe developed in the way people thought it would, as opposed to the way it did.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like it advances the idea that Germany winning World War One was probably the thing that historically should have happened, which is kind of, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Oops, we fucked it up
Yeah,
by winning.
we fucked it up.
Yeah, America does it again.
Just going back and shooting Lenin for doing the revolution too early in the wrong country and inadvertently skewing the whole course of history off.
Oh, I have a good one. How long does it take on average from deciding we're going to do an episode on X, the episode being published? Always been curious about that. Love the pod. First of all, thank you for the kind words. Second of all, shut up. I don't know.
None of your
Depends, right?
fucking business.
Well, we've had episodes that
No
have just
questions.
that have just sort of sat in the tank for a while, right? Like,
Yeah, like
we've
it
had- yeah.
depends how interested we are in the subject, because sometimes one of us will come up with a thing. It's like, hey, do you want to do an episode on this? And we'll record it the next day, right?
Yeah.
But like other times we'll just Roz will put something out in the group DM like, oh, we should do an episode, and we're like, about what? Now, I don't want to say you can go back and tell which ones were the subjects we were interested in and which ones were us like finding something, but you kind of can. Don't do that though.
There's some episodes that were, it's relatively easy to research. You know, you can get it done real quick. There's other episodes which are not.
Yeah, we pick some obscure ones, and like we really do ourselves no favors.
Yeah, so like so sometimes it's like I don't know, I'd say on average maybe 6 to 8 hours to put an episode slides together in terms of actual work. But then, so some of them are much longer, some of them are much shorter.
Yeah, we're not good at like keeping this organized. You may have noticed.
As it turns out, yeah. I mean, we're ostensibly a weekly podcast, but we seem to publish about once every 10 days.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Just to keep them on their toes.
Exactly.
Someone asked if we'd ever do I guess an anthology episode. I've been pushing for an all Philly episode with like the one Meridian Fire just to answer that.
That'd be fun, but I feel like we end up doing anthologies anyway. Like the Hindenburg thing
also, we did
ends
do
up
with,
being
the
an
boats.
airships podcast episode.
Yes.
Like as somebody in the comments pointed out, with no little affection, we get to the construction of the Hindenburg 2 hours into a 3-hour episode.
Yes. Well, I mean, because some of these episodes you can really only format them this way. This is because sometimes there's just not that much information available, especially where it's like the Hindenburg, and the thing is, it's like what caused the disaster?
Yeah,
the thing blew up, and we don't know exactly why.
No, and like if you want something like that, you can go to like the History Channel and get a documentary that will pad out pretty much those sentences to an hour, but like all of it's gonna be padding, so you're gonna like go and talk to a guy who thinks it was aliens or something.
Yeah, and you're gonna talk to another guy who's like, we did the sophisticated recreation in our secret History Channel lab, and they show a guy popping a balloon with a pin.
Yeah, we used our powerful computer simulation to prove that the thing done blowed up.
Yes, it blew up, as it turns out.
Roz, what are your favorite city skyline mods?
My favorite city skylines mods.
Yes.
My favorite one is actually the one that turns the Chirpy into a news ticker and brings back the SimCity 3000 messages on there.
Oh fuck, that's really cool. I haven't seen that one. God.
I know there's like a lot more really practical good mods out there, but that's just one that I like because I think it's funny. I want to hear messages about broccoli and llamas while I'm playing the game.
God, I miss SimCity. Like maybe it was just me, but it felt that much more accessible than City Skylines, because I keep thinking I'm going to play City Skylines.
Yes, absolutely.
And then it's like, oh, it takes 65 hours to set up, and also you've set it up wrong. So like, you thought you could specify building styles wrong. Wrong.
You know what? One of the things, a couple of things that I think made that game feel, I mean, certainly modded out to hell, City Skylines is very playable, but more as like a city painter, not a city builder.
Yeah. It's not really a game by that point. You're using it as
more
like
more of a construction set,
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the things that really did it for SimCity for me, or one of the things I really like about SimCity is the music. They always got real good music in that game.
Oh yeah, that's true. They had like a bunch of like really good ambient music.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes
God,
I put it on when I'm playing City Skylines.
You remember the SimCity successor they made in between SimCity 4 and the like really shitty online one?
SimCity Societies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's hauntology to me, because like I want that example of like, oh, I can actually kind of do policy that has a visual effect on my city, even in like a cartoony sort of way. I can be like, oh yeah, this is cop town. Everyone is cops. Or like, oh, we're doing solar panels or whatever, and you can actually see the little solar panels show up. I like that. I want more of that.
But it was like terribly executed is the thing.
Oh yeah,
like it was not done, and it stripped out all the other game mechanics. Like there's no like thinking about transportation or planning really. There's no like there's like, okay, you select some policies and the buildings look different. I'm not dealing with like infrastructure, or pipes, electricity, traditional city bullshit. Yeah,
you got to have the pipes.
You have to have the pipes. One of the selling points of that game was like, you won't have to lay pipes anymore. It's like, no, you need to have the pipes. Part of the city builder is you got to do the work.
Just Googling how to make SimCity 4 work on computer now, as we speak.
It's on Steam.
Oh shit! Does it run?
It's on Steam.
Yes,
I think so.
Huh.
Someone asked if we're going to cover Centralia. Yes, we'll get there. That's actually a good example of an episode we've wanted to do for a while, but we just sort of, for one reason or another, haven't really gotten around.
Yeah, and that's kind of the answer to any question that's like, will you do X? Is yeah. Eventually, we've set ourselves up for a task that like allows for pretty much any conceivable engineering project. We're gonna fucking do it eventually. On a long enough timeline, we will produce your favorite episode.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, we will eventually cover every engineering disaster, and then we'll have to cycle around to the beginning again, and do some of the older episodes better, I guess.
Yeah, once we start getting to a point where we have to express episode numbers in standard notation, then we'll be in a good place. WTP episode 3.8 times 10 to the 52 is going to be about agriculture, and then we'll run out of disasters.
And we'll have to do Silverbridge again.
Yeah, that's
we'll
right.
We'll do it good this time.
God, please don't go back and listen to Silverbridge, because it's like it wasn't good.
It was one of my favorite disasters.
It's a great disaster, but the problem is that like neither of us had really figured out what we were doing. So kind of like
I'll answer. Someone has actually, these are two good ones. What is your advice? Jesus wept. Advice for someone who's unemployed and loves doing technical projects and redneck engineering, but hates staring at dry textbooks for hours on end. Don't go to fucking engineering school. Go to trade school.
Don't join the army.
Go to trade school. Absolutely go to trade school. Like, you're clearly, if you want to get a job in this shit where you're actually doing the work, fucking go to trade school. Come out making 90 G's with no debt.
And I cannot stress enough, do not join the military. It is a thing that like they will try to sell you on the second they get wind that you like any kind of mechanical engineering. A guy will show up to your house and be like, "Hey kid, do you want to join the military?" Don't do it. They'll say they'll teach you a trade that you'll learn, that you'll use in civilian life. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Even if they do teach you the trade, you won't have the qualification. You won't have the certification, so it'll be meaningless.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't join the military.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's our favorite episode. There's another one.
My favorite episode of this.
Oh boy.
It's funny. I actually really like. I think the Hindenburg might be the best episode we've done.
I think that's probably right. My personal favorite, the one I'm the most proud of. Probably either college or the Protestantism episode. As just
I could see that.
Yeah. Also, what I'm really proud of is Bo Paul.
Yeah, Bo Paul was great. Yeah. The reason why I like the Hindenburg one so much is, apart from everything else, is just how good Mia was on it. Like,
Yes.
like people in the comments were being like, just hire her regularly, and I'm like, yeah,
We're not splitting the money
kind of.
another way.
I don't know. My favorite one we've done so far was actually the Federal Express wreck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, and it was like a nice kind of clean episode. We got through what we wanted to get through pretty reasonably, I think.
Yeah, and no one died. Never had a nice time. Atmospheric
right.
Railway was another good one.
Oh, the Atmospheric Railway set up so many like enduring bits for us.
Yes.
Yeah. America's favorite horse viscera related podcast.
Yes.
Favorite
Yeah.
and only.
Let's see.
If Italy has all the conspiracies going on at the same time, which country is the opposite and has none of the conspiracies going on and is by extension really boring?
Ooh.
New
A country
Zealand.
with no conspiracies happening in it. I would believe the Netherlands again.
Yeah.
Everyone
I'd take
honestly
that.
believes all the shit they're doing. Yeah.
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 They tried to do Operation Gladio in the Netherlands and it just didn't work.
The people just stared at them blankly.
Okay, you can put that right next to the box of tulips.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, what other countries, like, because I'm thinking mostly European countries is where the conspiracies are going on. And it's kind of like, you know what? It's probably Saudi Arabia because all the bad shit just happens out in the open.
Fuck, that's true. Yeah,
That's true.
This is, yeah, we don't let women drive. We're an absolute monarchy. We murder journalists. We depend on selling oil everywhere. And
Did you see? I
steal
think
the
often
passports of migrant workers.
Yeah, I think often of the Hillary Clinton tweet when Saudi Arabia announced, when MBS announced that they were going to let some women drive sometimes, where she posted like a stock photo of the Saudi flag, and she was like, "Ladies, start your engines. It's about time." And it was such a like, "You've come a long way, baby" thing to do for a petro state, and it just makes me laugh so much.
I mean, what are the caveats there? I there must be caveats on when women can drive.
Yeah, like
I believe there are.
The one thing I remember is that like the various Islamic authorities, and I use that term very loosely, of Saudi Arabia were like, no, you can't let women drive because all of their organs will fall out from the vibration, or they'll get too horny. These are equally as bad to us. Which is real, like going back to like Britain in the 1870s kind of rhetoric. It's cool.
It's unfortunate we've made the women too horny. We have to make sure that the women are not horny because we want all sexual intercourse to be non-consensual.
That's that good. Yes, that's not a good idea.
I assume that's the logic. I don't.
I think what they did, right, is they did a very Democratic Party thing in Saudi Arabia where they crafted a bipartisan compromise where they let women drive, but they also arrested all the activists who were like, "You should let women drive."
That sounds about right.
Perfect centrism.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. The ban was officially lifted on the 24th of June 2018, while many of the women's rights activists pushing for the ban to be lifted remained under detention. Cool.
Yeah, yep, they just arrested someone, I forget who, but someone related to the Rocz. Is Penn Station the station New York deserves?
Listen, old Penn Station is the station New York City deserves. We make fun of New York City on this podcast a lot, and we make fun of trad architecture nerds. I will say the one trad architecture opinion I have is that Penn Station needs to be put back up exactly as it was, and there is no other substitute. except for at the platform level, where you're going to make those platforms a bit wider, right? Which it could be solved with organizational stuff. This is that could be a whole episode right there. Demolition of Penn Station.
What time is it?
We
7:37.
are an hour and 44 in. I don't know when we want to cut it.
I would say around 2.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, 15 minutes to go. How much do you actually edit out of any given episode?
A lot.
Just all of the like actionable federal crimes.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that is usually my standard. I mean,
Thank
like
you.
in a 3-hour episode, I might take an episode that takes 3 hours to record. I might take 10 minutes out at best. There's a very raw sound of this podcast.
Uncensored,
you get
uncut, unfiltered.
no feels, only reels.
That's right.
Oh, Alice, who wins the fight? You or Alice Cooper?
Since I started taking estrogen, anyone wins in a fight with me.
Oh, buddy.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, it's a thing, right? Like, not to get too like essentialist about this shit, but if you start taking estrogen, even if you start out ripped, right, you will just lose muscle mass like that. And there's not a lot you can do about it. Like, you can still kind of work out, and you can still kind of keep, like, you can keep your cardio up, you can keep your like aerobic fitness up, but like your actual lifting strength is just gonna fucking go. It's why people take testosterone as a supplement for bodybuilding and stuff. Is that shit helps you lift heavy stuff?
Here, my concern is: could you get in a fight with Alice Cooper? Because I've heard Alice Cooper is a very nice person in real life.
That's all I know.
Well, I mean, I believe in my ability to provoke anyone into fighting me.
Yes, your Twitter feed can attest.
Have any of you ever ridden a pacer or had the
Yes.
joy of riding in a class 153? If
Yes,
so, which
yes to
provider
both.
of hearing aids do you prefer the most?
Listen, I didn't ride on them often because like I moved straight from the southeast to Glasgow, but like I've been in up north, which is south of me, a few times and ridden paces in those times. And my answer is, if you go for like a Sena hearing protection, these are Sena Music Pro. They work really well against the tinnitus that I genuinely have, and I will attribute to the Pacers.
I have never ridden a pacer. I have
Same.
seen a pacer.
You're too late. They've decommissioned the last of them in England. I think they might still have them in Wales.
I've seen one pacer in my life. It is at the Connecticut Trolley Museum in Windsor Locks. They got the old SEPTA pacer.
Hell
that
yeah!
ran for like a week. I think they traded it for a small steam locomotive.
Cowards.
Yeah, I
Cowards.
know, right? I was like, I would have
Keep
kept
the
the steam
shit box.
locomotive.
The shit
Yeah.
boxes are funny.
People are going to be very mad that question lumped in pacers and super sprinters, though. Like they're not as the sprinters aren't as bad. They're still
How can you
bad.
how would you even know? You can't hear them anymore.
That is true.
I'm
yeah,
looking
if you
at
ride
this-
the pacer first, then it just obliterates all hearing.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
just
one of those like super high ABV. It's a pallet destroyer, but for your ears.
This is not. I'm looking at what a class 153 super sprinter is, and I'm like, this is not the image that comes to mind when I think super sprinter.
No.
So British Rail had this branding that they were going to do for like local services like this. That was a British Rail Sprinter, and they had a cool logo, which was like the British Rail like double arrow thing forming a track with a guy sprinting on it. And like these were going to be these new modern things that were going to keep the branch lines that didn't get killed by beaching alive, and everybody fucking hates them. So you know,
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I understand. Like I guess they must have some good acceleration, but not a great top speed. which I guess would make sense for that kind of service. But of course,
Right.
they seem to be diesel. I am now looking at a picture of one with a seagull perched on top of it at Bristol Temple Mead Station.
Cool.
Oh.
And it I don't know. I don't believe these things can sprint. I just don't see it. If you want to go
Especially
that
not
fast
super.
with something that blunt ended, you need electricity.
Yeah, this brick that we fitted a diesel engine into.
Yeah, I'm sure it accelerates very fast, but it's no subway train.
I think sprinters were also bus bodies too originally. I could be wrong, but I think they might have been.
Still hear me? I moved the mic a little bit.
Yeah, it's still kind of quiet though.
Yeah? Is this any better?
Yeah, much. We should
Great.
get you a mic stand. We should chip in to get you a mic
I
stand.
have a mic stand. I just
Liam,
don't have it
yeah.
with me.
I was gonna try and figure out how to get Liam a good mic stand for being in an undisclosed location,
Thank
but
you.
Amazon was down.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Oh, can't say that on the podcast. Bleep out that whole sentence. I
That's a
tried to
good
get
point,
Liam
yeah.
a mic stand because he's in, but was down. Yeah.
You know,
Don't worry about
there's
where
a
I-
super
worry about where you
sprinter
are.
named after Pamela Anderson.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh
Just
my
look. I
God.
just saw on the Wikipedia that some units have received names, and 153369, nice, is Pamela Anderson.
Oh, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah.
Justin, as somebody who also attended Drexel University and studied
Sorry.
civil engineering, I feel like the program honestly taught me nothing about civil engineering. Will you please validate my
No.
fear that I have wasted literally $100,000? I would say yes. I mean, one of the things that I don't understand about civil engineering education is I think, one of the things you should learn in civil engineering education, the equations are good, the concepts of, how to design certain kinds of structures in an abstract sense, this is good, right? But you really get through, especially undergraduate civil engineering, with a series of unrelated concepts about like foundations and structural steel and stuff, but you have no idea. You can't look at a building and say, okay, it's probably built this way. You don't know. You know a lot about structure. You know a lot of math. You don't know how to put up a building.
Right.
What you've got to do is you've got to go back to the 19th century thing where you go to West Point to learn all of this stuff,
Yes.
and then immediately resign.
Yes.
Start
Honestly,
building
yeah,
bridges.
I feel like that's a better system. But I was like, that was back when, basically everyone could figure out, okay, here's how you build a house. You put up some brick walls, you put some joists in, boom, done. Today, you'd look at something like that. People can't comprehend of the idea of brick walls with joists framing into them, right? It's totally foreign concept of these very simple structures. I feel like knowing how like existing structures are put up is like good knowledge to have to help you understand more specific technical concepts. I never understood why. Like when I went to Drexel University, like what did they do? The first year they had you make Lego robots.
Cool.
As a which was cool, yeah.
I
Second year,
I remember that.
Second year, we did financial engineering, which was a stock market game. I was on a team which, completely ignored all the normal accepted strategies, which was invest in tech stocks, and I invested in railroads, banks, and oil companies.
You're playing a tycoon game.
Yeah, and we came in third because tech stocks did really badly that quarter. Third year, you seem to start to come into like some actual engineering concepts, but I'm like, I've been at this college for 3 years. I've done two co-ops at this point, and it's like I've learned a lot more on co-op than anything else, which is, how buildings are put up, which I think is like a large part of civil engineering is how buildings are put up and how roads and railroads are put together and bridges and tunnels and stuff like that. And it's like they don't start there, which I think would be a smart place to start. You don't really start with the fun stuff either. I mean, I understand it's supposed to be a weeder course, but the first, which I think is honestly like in this age of education costing as much as it does, weeder courses are immoral. It's like, okay, I'm going to,
especially when everything else you treat it like a business. You want treat it like a business. So like, just pass me by your own logic.
Yeah, I'm going to pay $40,000 to come to the school to learn civil engineering, and they're going to shove me through, I don't know, calculus 3, right? And I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna drop out, and I'm gonna be $40,000 in the hole. I understand if like education were like a public good and you didn't have any financial downside, then maybe, let's only take the smart guys. But right now it's like people are taking out these huge loans to go to do STEM education, right? It's and you can't just, you're condemning people to debt with no useful education. If you have these weeder courses, maybe you should just structure your course so your basic dumb guy can come in and say, hey, I can become an engineer if I apply myself moderately.
Right.
Yeah, there's no room for like mediocrity anymore, which sucks. You want some guy who can just build a building competently and isn't gonna like set the world on fire,
Right. I just want to be a guy. I just want to be a dude,
Yeah, I just want to be a dude hanging out.
I just want to be a guy being a dude. Yeah,
that's right.
I might have to go soon.
We got time for one more, I think.
Yes.
Okay. What is... We need a good one for the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Alice, can you print a Pennsylvania Secret Service card for my groundhog?
Just putting my head in my hands.
Weeping to yourself.
That's right.
What are your favorite fictional engineering disasters?
Towering Inferno. It's cool.
It was based on reality, though.
Does that count? Well, what? Okay.
Yeah,
9/11.
Well, bye, everybody.
Well, all right. That's a good enough place to end it as any.
Yeah. I'm Alice Caldwell Kelly. This is Justin Rosniak, and this is Jean Baudrillard.
Yes. We
will be recording. I don't know what's next.
What's next? Steam Locomotive bonus episode. We're gonna try and do that maybe this weekend.
Yeah. Let me know. I should be able to do that.
Okay, and then we should have a couple of good ones coming up in early January after that.
And but first, Tacoma Narrows.
Yes, obviously. Next is Tacoma Narrows.
That's right.
Yeah, I gotta go eat. So on and so forth.
Yeah, it's fun. We should do this more often.
Yeah, we'll do this for episode 100, but we'll tell the audience what questions to ask this time.
Oh yeah,
we'll just tell them.
We're pre-screen the questions.
That's right. Yeah. I hope you're all feeling very parasocial now.
Yes, exactly. If you come to my house and try to talk to me, I will shoot you.
That's right.
Castle Doctrine.
Castle Doctrine, baby. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.